Hi there, it's Friday, and you know what that means? It's time for another episode of Financial Fridays. It's Dr. Joanna Ray, and I'm here with you talking today about pay yourself first. And this is a concept that I heard very late in my financial journey, and I wish I would have heard this sooner. But it's basically the idea that you should start saving and investing before you start spending your money. And I attribute to the idea that we should be assigning some jobs to our money as soon as we get money from our paychecks or whatever income sources that we may have. And the idea here is that you set aside a certain amount of money, whether it be 15%, 20%, or a set dollar amount to your savings and investing. And also to mention that you should start at first with saving some money and putting money aside for emergencies. I'm going to go ahead and link my video about emergency funds and how to actually build an emergency fund up above, so I won't necessarily mention it in this video. But basically, you should have money set aside for emergencies and things that are unexpected. Other things that you may also budget towards, speaking of budget, you do need to know what money you have coming in and what money you have coming out. So it's really good to set up a budget. And the way you can go about doing something like this is to actually look at your income, the money coming in, and the money going out, your expenses, for a period of 2 to 3 months. And that way you kind of get an average because every month is going to be a little bit different. Now, I actually use an app to track my money, and I use a very simple app called Budget. I do everything manually. Some people do Excel, some people do on paper, and some people use apps which link their bank accounts and their credit cards, and they can actually get all of that automated for them. Whatever works for you, whatever system works for you, that's great, as long as you get tracking the money that you have. Now, the reason why you want to track the money that you have is so that you know how much you can save and how much you invest. We will look in a future video at different budgeting methods, but for now, go ahead and try to see if you can save at least 15 to 20% of your income. Now, if you are someone like me who started later in her investing journey and you're trying to save money up for future expenses like retirement, I would suggest actually saving more. Now, I save on average 40 to 50% of my income to retirement. And when I say save, I mean actually invest. When you save money and you put it into something like a savings account, your interest rate is not very high. Your rate of return, the money that you get back for the amount of money that you put in, is not very high. Actually, right now, high yield savings account, which is a form of savings account, actually do have higher interest rates than they had traditionally in the past. However, generally and traditionally, if you look at something like the S&P 500, which is the 500 largest companies in the US stock market, you will actually get an average historical return of about 10%. So you can see the difference with something like 5% to something like 10%. And with that, year over year, that can lead to substantial gains. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, and these are definitely topics for future videos, but pay yourself first. Put your money towards savings and investing first. Do not start spending your money and only leave what's ever left over for savings and investing. This will put you behind because always something is going to come up. You're going to see something on sale and you're going to want to buy that. You're going to want to go out to dinner. And if you don't have, number one, a budget, number two, pay yourself first, I would say you don't have a solid plan to save for your future. So remember, put yourself first. Pay yourself first and be responsible. Take responsibility for yourself and your future and do this for no one else but you because you are the most important person in your life. Remember that. No one's going to take care of you. Don't depend on your family. Don't depend on your kids. I don't. And I really do, even though I started late, I really do expect to get that $1 million in retirement or more for my retirement and my financial independence. So if I can do it, I'm working really hard towards it. And if I can do it, I think anyone can do it because I don't have a high salary. I'm just doing it by setting a certain amount of money aside every month and sticking with it. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all your likes and subscribes. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and watch the next video.